So let's take a look at this very simple position. Let's watch as white tries to win. And let's pay attention to the black king. I'm going to turn the check alarm off. You probably noticed that the black king is just shuffling around the 4 highlighted squares. Why is this possible? It's possible because the white queen can only ever attack 3 of these squares, so if the queen keeps giving check, at least one of these squares will be safe for the black king's escape. The only way for the white queen to force the black king off these 4 squares is to attack the 3 squares that the king isn't on, by moving a knight's move away from the black king. It's not check, but finally the king is forced to move off the highlighted squares. All of the checks were pointless. They achieved nothing. In fact, in this position, white should only give check once, on the final move. So why do we like giving check? And how can we work out if it's a good idea or not? Well, we know that we have to trap the enemy king to win the game. So we think that the more we attack the enemy king, the more likely we are to trap it. But we have already seen that this is not true. In our first example, white got nowhere by giving check all the time. In this position, it is easy for black to block the check and chase the bishop away. Perhaps we give check, hoping it's checkmate. But that's very lazy, and the black king can move away from the edge of the board. Checkmate is now further away than it was before. What should white have done? The black king is on the edge of the board, so white should keep it there. Sometimes it is better to attack the squares next to the enemy king, instead of actually attacking the king. The black king is stuck on the edge of the board, and white will give checkmate on the next move. In this position, white can give checkmate in 2 moves, but these checks are all pointless. It's best to notice that the black king is almost trapped, and it's best to completely trap it before giving checkmate on the next move. But what if we go back and take the black pawn away? One reason we like to give check is because we are afraid of stalemate. In this position, completely trapping the black king would be a mistake. It's stalemate. But giving check just to avoid stalemate is just lazy. The best way to avoid stalemate is to think ahead and make sure your opponent has a piece they can move. In this position, the best plan is to allow the black king to move to a7, but to stop it going any further by using the bishop. Now this check is not pointless, because it forces the black king into the corner allowing white to give checkmate. So giving check can be a good move, but it isn't always a good move. You must have a good reason to give check. What are some good reasons? One good reason might be to force the enemy king onto a worse square. In this position, the black king is defending the bishop, but this rook check forces the king away, allowing the knight to take the bishop. Another good reason might be to force your opponent to block with a valuable piece. If white gives check with the bishop, black has to block with the queen. Other good reasons are things like forks and skewers. So don't give check just because it's check, or because you're hoping it's checkmate, or because you're afraid of stalemate. Make sure you have a good reason for check.